What up, people? As you can tell, I'm still sick. That's okay, though. Tonight, we're doing the stand-up. If you don't know what the stand-up is, I'll give you the rundown. The stand-up is something you do in agile planning, and basically, you have a daily thing where you stand up and you basically cover 3 areas. What have you accomplished? What are you currently doing? And what is holding you back? That is what I've geared this particular segment to do, is to inform you good people of the secular community of what we have accomplished this week. Not necessarily we as in the secular community, but we as humanity, we as a country, we as a world have done that's positive. And then what are we currently working on? What's currently happening in our community that we need to pay attention to and we need to support? And then finally, what's holding us back? That would be the horrible shit that's going on that we need to change, and stuff that's really holding us back from progressing as a society. So, we need to change. Sorry. So, the first up tonight is the faith healing parents in, where was it? Like, Alberta, Canada. Their son had like meningitis. Yeah, that's something that you can't cure with maple syrup, which is exactly what they fucking tried to do. They tried to cure their son with a bunch of home remedies that included maple syrup and a whole bunch of other, hoogity boogity stuff. And luckily, though, they've been charged and found guilty. And they're serving a maximum of 5 years in jail for the negligence to their child. The jury found them guilty, saying the maximum penalty for failing to provide the necessaries of life is 5 years in prison. Justice Rodney Jerk, is that right? Jerk? Unfortunate name. Did not set a sentencing date that is to be decided at a court appearance on June 13th. The Stevens were not taken into custody. Well, lucky for them, right? So, I don't know. I think that we need to treat faith healing parents, I don't, of course, this is Alberta, Canada, so I don't exactly know what the fuck their normal things are, but I guess providing the necessities for life is 5 years in prison. That would be, comparable to negligence maybe here in the United States. So I don't know exactly what the sentencing term is for negligence here in the United States, but I can fucking assure you that I think what they put that child through deserves a bit more than 5 years. But I mean, that's just me. That's just my own my own opinion, and opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and some people are one. But that is something that we have accomplished. Another thing, to go on, next is what we're working on. What are we currently working on in our community? Well, one of the things is the transgender bathroom situation. Of course, we all have been hearing about this. It's been everything that's been on the news has been pretty much about this. But here's some good news about it. North Carolina Democrats have filed a bill that repeals the North Carolina thing that was very anti-LGBT and was very idiotic of them to pass in the first place. Now, there's not much hope that it will actually get all the way through. Okay, to answer a question real quick, Silver Blotter says, do you think couples should get a license before breeding? Maybe. I mean, coming from Alabama, I'm not completely opposed to the idea, although, I mean, I think that it would just be another way to generate income for the state, because I think that even if a family would want one and they were faith healers, I mean, with the shield laws that are intact, they would definitely get one. So, I mean, it would just be another bill, another license fee that you have to pay to the state. Let's see. Spider Pig says, hey, Godless Engineer, shout out from Orange County, California. Woo woo. But okay. Anyways, back to the North Carolina bill. They've stamped it and everything, and it's going through the process. But with the amount of Republicans that are in the that are in the political bodies of North Carolina, I don't think that it's going to get passed. It may or may not. Caitlin says, "Wow." But here's hoping that it does. Now, while these Democrats in North Carolina are actually trying to are actually trying to do something positive and progressive for our community, you have people like, oh shit, I forgot to change this. Sorry, guys. See, those are the bill makers in North Carolina. Then you got people like Greg Locke. Greg Locke, Greg Locke is, of course, against the transgender bathroom kind of situation, you know. And of course, I mean, he's Christian. He's going to be against it. He's very loud. When, you know, they were teaching kids in like history classes about Islam and whatnot, he got off of his rocker and just made this very hate-filled video that got him a lot of attention. Well, now he's gotten a lot of attention with his Target video. But while North Carolina Democrats are trying to progress our society, this guy is actually trying to revert our society back. And it's really ridiculous, because what Pastor Locke has done is criticize the Target for, you know, changing their policies and whatnot. But then it's come to find out that he's actually hired a sexual offender himself. He's hired a sexual offender to work for the youth group. I mean, come on. How dumb of a motherfucker do you have to be to criticize this, say that this kind of law is going to endanger children and wives and women and everything, but then you're going to say this all the while you've hired a fucking sexual offender. Not just any sexual offender, though. A sexual offender that has molested or raped, I can't remember which one, he's done one of them, but a 13-year-old girl. So Pastor Locke, you mean to tell me that you think that Target is more of a breeding ground for these sexual predators than your fucking church that actually has a sexual predator in it? Exactly how dumb as fuck do you have to be, Pastor Locke? And I've tried to be amicable with you in the past. I really have. But at this point, I just have to look at you and be like, who the fuck? Who the fuck are you to be criticizing Target when you yourself have a church that has almost 100%, like not exactly 100%, but so far close to 100% chance of children getting sexually molested in it, that you're going to be this hypocritical? I mean, come on, man. That's just stupid as fuck. And then you've also got Oxford, Alabama. Oxford, Alabama. Woo woo! They have actually passed an ordinance where apparently they go over the heads of Target, right? And they pretty much weasel their way into their store, into their policies, and be like, well, look, you're going to get a $500 fine or 6 months in jail, and 6 months in jail, if a transgender person uses the wrong restroom. I mean, yeah, Caitlin says, like the government needs to get out of our bathrooms, they shouldn't really be in the breeding business. No, I agree. I don't think, that's why I think that the licenses thing, I mean, I did have to seriously think about it for a second, just because I wanted to think my answer through clearly. But like I said, even if they did allow it, even if they did have licenses for breeding or whatnot, it would just be another bill that you had to pay and it would be another way that they could legislate against people. That's what it would turn into. But anyways, but $500 fine and 6 months in jail for transgender people. And I just think that it's really funny how not just so long ago, Hobby Lobby was in court and won the right to refuse birth control to their employees because apparently the business can be religious or some shit. But now we have a city in Alabama that is legislating against a business because it disagrees with their religious beliefs or it disagrees with their sensibilities. I mean, how back and forth can you really go in this fucking country? I mean, seriously, I really don't understand like the dynamics of the United States at this point, because you have the Supreme Court saying, "Oh no, we can't touch private businesses. That businesses have religious values too." Okay. But now we've got this city council in Oxford saying, "Well, now, hey, look, you can't do that in your store, okay? We're gonna pass an ordinance. Well, we're gonna arrest you, motherfuckers. You go in there and you use the wrong restroom. You understand me? We're gonna have a police officer posted in there, and when you get in there, you're gonna have to drop your drawers and prove that you got a penis or a vagina." I mean, seriously, how are you going to make sure that people have actually broken these laws? I mean, are you seriously going to sit there and be like, "Hey, motherfucker, drop your goddamn drawers. Drop your drawers so that we can see if you got a dick or a vagina." I mean, I've already seen one video today. There's already been an instance of a police officer that has taken out a lesbian from a woman's restroom just because he finds her not looking like a woman. Like, he thought that she was a guy, and so he was like, "Get the fuck out. You don't got an ID. Get the fuck out, you motherfucker." That's what he was like. And apparently now okay, look, just everybody, before you go to restrooms out in public or anything like that, you need to make sure that you have your birth certificate, your driver's license, your library card, if you will, just any kind of fucking form of goddamn identification you can get that proves that you are whatever gender that you present as. And even if it's a gender that you don't present as. If you're a transgender person and, you were born with one name and now you have another, I don't see how this law is really going to do that. Is going to be effective in any way other than persecuting the LGBT community. I really don't. I'm not seeing how this is going to protect men, women, and children, because you would fucking think that if they were really all so fucking concerned with protecting women and children, that they would legislate shit against the Catholic Church or churches in general. Like, they would legislate against sexual offenders having access to youth groups. You would think that they would legislate against motherfuckers going into churches and just molesting and raping people left and right, because that's what they're doing. And later on, I'm going to show you how it's still fucking rampant, especially in the Catholic Church. You would think that they would do something like that, but no. Who are they going to target? A minority. You know why? Because the minority isn't going to say shit about it. Or at least that's what they think. They think the minority is not going to say shit about it. But guess what, motherfuckers? There's a lot more support behind the minorities in this country. Minorities all around that are going to stand with them. So you best change your thinking out there. But next off, to get off my soapbox, now this is the portion that's what's holding us back. There was a priest that was convicted of, at first they thought that he was convicted of sex crimes in somewhere. And then he finds a job in Oklahoma. But it turns out later on they figured out that he was charged with sex-related crimes, but then he pleaded down to like battery or something like that. Now, first off, we minorities are loud as fuck. But first off, I think that allowing sexual predators to plead down on something and get a lesser sentence is kind of a wrong thing to do. I think that, that shouldn't be allowed. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I just seriously don't think that a sexual offender should be allowed to plead down and get a lesser sentence just because he holds some kind of position in church. um, but apparently this pastor or priest found a job in an Oklahoma parish. Well, once they actually found out that there was an update posted about this, it was found out that he pleaded down to a misdemeanor. He was eventually convicted on a misdemeanor battery charge and hasn't actually been convicted of sex crimes. But the parish that he was hired under did actually fire him and let him go. So that's one good thing. But the fact that he was the fact that it turned from sex related crimes to misdemeanor battery, I think is kind of shitty. But there was also this guy. Okay, and I'm guessing that you guys don't know who this guy is, but I'm going to feed you here in just a second. This guy right here, he was a priest in Minnesota, right? He, let's see, after being charged with abuse, which included rape and forcing at least one of the girls to perform fellatio on him, he fled home to India. So what he did was he raped and molested these girls. He was, and then he fled to India. Interpol caught him, deported his ass back to Minnesota, and then he served about a year in jail. Okay. And then after he got out of jail, he left and went back to India. And guess what happened? Do you think that the guy just, found some kind of piddly job or whatnot? You would be wrong. He actually got a very high up seat in the local diocese for the Catholic Church in India. Like, they placed him way the fuck up there. Let me see. Let me get the exact. In February, the Vatican approved lifting his suspension from priesthood and agreed that he could be reassigned to a new parish in India. That parish even made him the diocesan head of its commission for education. Yes, so he's gonna get shit. He got lifted all the way up there to this head of education, and for the Catholic Church to actually do this, because the Catholic Church, they're not like independent churches, right? They all fall under the Roman Catholic Church or whatnot, the Vatican, and so they make all the decisions. So, do I feel like I'm preaching to the converted? Go to Saudi Arabia? Well, no, I don't feel like I'm preaching to the converted, because I'm imparting news on people. I'm imparting news upon you good people. You guys may not have heard this. If you have indeed heard this, well then good. But some people don't follow secular news all that often. So that's why I do this. But for this guy right here to be elevated to that kind of position, I think is just horrific. I think that it shows that the Catholic diocese, that the Catholic Church, all that shit. Well, I'm glad that you follow me on Facebook. I hope everybody else goes and follows me on Facebook if you just so happen to be watching. Good people. We're awful people. Not you, Cakes. Never. But I think that it really shows that the Catholic Church really doesn't care about its members, like the actual low-level church members, the members that give their hard-earned money to the church so that they can protect pedophiles like this motherfucker. I think that Gray stalks me. But I think that it really just goes to show that the Catholic Church doesn't care about women, children, or anything like that. Because if they really did care about women and children, if they cared about the children of the parish, about the children that they are entrusted with at their private schools and everything, they would very much not circulate these pedophiles. They would make sure that these pedophiles couldn't actually work in a parish. And regardless of whether or not another church, like another denomination, hires them, I just think that it's incumbent upon the Vatican to make sure that these people don't. But you know what? They don't give a fuck about that shit. No, recently in the Vatican, they actually had a priest that had it was some kind of tens of thousands of child porn and child porn videos on a Vatican computer. And I mean, he was arrested by the Vatican police. But at the same time, do you really think that he's going to be getting a lot of shit? Like, do you think that he's going to be getting a lot of time or any kind of time in jail or anything like that? I really don't think that he is. I think that it's that it's just going to be eventually he's going to get a little bit of a tap on the back of the hand, a little bit of tap, and then he's going to be let go. So I think that's horrible. But that is it for the stand-up tonight. I hope that you guys thoroughly enjoyed this. If you will, give this video a like, and if this video has some information that you didn't know about, please do share this video out. Let people know that we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, usually at 9:30, but tonight was a little bit special. And so I hope that you guys have a great Wednesday and rest of the Wednesday night. Have a great Thursday. And do go to my Facebook page, follow me there, because I do post a good bit of articles. I try to find articles that I haven't covered on the page usually. And so I would really appreciate it, you letting people know about this show and getting more people here to really discuss, because I love interacting with you people. I love talking with people that follow me on social media. So please do, comment below if you're watching this after the live stream, and yeah, and watch GE plays games. He plays on super duper ninja hard and dies a lot. That I do. I do play on super duper hard. I'm playing Far Cry Primal right now on expert every Sunday. So generally, though, I come out on top with headshots. And I've really been liking the fucking what's that shit? the pike thing. But I'm really good with that. But anyways, I hope that you guys will follow me, will join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you guys later. Links are down in the description. All these stories, as I always say, don't just take my word for it. Don't just listen to what I have to say. Don't just have my opinions. Go down there, look at the information, make the decisions for yourself. I'll see you guys later.